Hey guys, welcome back to the startappsblog.com tutorial series on learning Lua and Corona SDK. In this lesson, we're going to cover local and global variables. So just to start off, let's create a new project in the Corona simulator. So we'll just create a new project and we'll call it lesson 2 and just leave all the options as the default settings. And just drop that on the desktop similar to what we did in lesson 1. All right, next up, load up Sublime Text Editor. And you're going to want to navigate to that particular project file that we just created, which was on the desktop, and open up that entire folder. So open up main.lua. Now, as you remember in the last session, the majority of the variables that were created were prefixed by the keyword local.
What are you trying to get crazy with, Eze? Don't you know I'm local?
And the main reason for that is the local keyword will create a variable which is sort of optimized for performance and simply available in that sort of local chunk of code or within that particular file level. So let's start off, we'll create a local variable here. So we've actually declared the local variable called myvar1, and since we haven't given it any particular value at the start, it will be initialized with type nil. So one thing to keep in mind is that if you do declare local variables, such as at the top of the file, like shown here, they'll be available throughout that entire file, but only within that particular file. Similarly, if you define a local variable in a function, that variable will only be scoped or available within that particular function. Now, if we refer back to our overview map, you can actually see what that means is if you define a local variable in main.lua, then you can only access it and use it within main.lua. Similarly, if you define a local variable in one of your scene files, such as menu.lua in this particular instance, then those local variables are only going to be accessed and they'll only live while that menu.lua file is loaded within the Lua interpreter. Now, in contrast, global variables live as long as the entire application is running. And if you define a global variable, it can be seen throughout the entire application. So just referring back to the overview map, that means if you define a global variable such as this one, myvar2, and by nature of not prefixing the variable with the local keyword, it will become a global variable. And it'll be available anywhere in the application, so you could call on it from within, say, menu.lua or options.lua, and you'll have access to that variable throughout the entire application. So let's give that variable a assignment value of 5, and we'll just comment this is a global variable. And on face value, there isn't a whole lot of difference, but in actuality, global variables in Lua are handled a fair bit differently, and you want to try and use them only when you absolutely need them. And in general, always use the local keyword on most of your variable declarations.